the weather forecast with C3 Production.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this brand new edition of the weather forecast. We all expect calm weather across the entire nation, both tonight and in the morning, for you to start your week well. We'll have a maximum temperature of 21 degrees in the center region and the east region, and 24 degrees in the southwest region of the country, as well as in the littoral region, and 17 degrees in the northwest region and in the west region of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I advise you to always have your umbrellas when you go out. We will go for details now in the north region, where it will be cloudy in the whole region this evening. The same weather conditions to prevail until the morning, where we'll have a drop of 6 degrees. Let's go now to the southwest region, where showers with thunderstorm is likely to persist in the whole region this evening. The same weather condition to persist in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I advise you to always unplug your electrical appliances. Let's go now to the south region, where showers are expected with thunderstorm. The same weather condition to prevail until the morning. We'll have a maximum temperature of 25 degrees. Always have your umbrellas and have hot drinks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's easy to see Coco in Ambam. Good night. God bless you.
That was the weather forecast with C3 Production.
The price of chicken seems to be rising in the market, with the limited supply of broilers pushing dealers to add up to 1,500 francs on the usual prices per chicken. Today is World Down Syndrome Day, to raise awareness on the genetic chromosome disorder, and in Douala, parents with kids with Down syndrome gathered to sing and to play for their kids. In sports, Coton's Canon of Yaoundé beat Young Sports Academy to get right up to 6 points at the start of the League One Football Championship. Live from Studio 5 of the CRTV Production Center, I am Benin Bumagana. This is the 7:30 News.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
Once again, good evening. The National Coordinator of the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Committee says the head of state's investment of 1.5 billion CFA francs for the construction of a center to better the life of ex-combatants in the southwest region. The director of the DDR, FAI, YENGO Francis, was speaking at Miselele TIKO during the laying of the foundation stone of the project, accompanied by the Southwest Governor. Details with Mukwele Prince-Will Aduma.
An act with a life-changing dimension, the foundation stone to the construction of an ultra-modern structure to house the Center for Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration in the Southwest, is laid on this 25-hectare piece of land in Miselele TIKO, the 1.5 billion CFA francs project ordered by the head of state.
To materialize the hand of fellowship which the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Paul Biya, stretched to our young brothers and sisters who missed their way by going into the bush to take arms. They're not going to come and sit here and eat. It's not a prison. It's not a detention center. They're going to be trained.
The center that will therefore serve the purpose of civic and moral rearmament will feature dormitories, sports grounds, medical and security facilities to enable ex-combatants receive training in income-generating trades, in agriculture and more.
It's already one kind of development that is taking us to another level. It is important that the project uses the young men and women around the municipality who can work.
Accompanied by Governor Bena Okalia Belai, Mr. FAI YENGO Francis used the occasion to call on the population of the Southwest to appeal to separatist fighters to join the DDR program, which already plays host to 670 others in the 3 centers of the far north, northwest and southwest. The construction work will, according to the strategic partners of the DDR, be carried out within 9 months.
Mukwele Princeville at Duma. The price of chicken in the market has increased following the limited supply of chicken broilers. In spite of the efforts made by poultry farmers to increase production, chick traders are still unable to make available the required quantity to satisfy consumers' needs. Our reporter Yoti Kaleli Songa visited some grow-out houses in the Center region to ascertain the main cause of the scarcity. Here is her report.
Once a home to 20,000 broilers, today this grow-out house in Obak, Okola division of the Center region, is filled with cobwebs as goats lodge in a corner, a situation blamed on the scarcity of chicks.
There is scarcity of chicks in the market and the traders say they are unable to import due to COVID-19. The local production in the country is not enough to meet demands.
Kilometers away in Lebudi, Yaoundé, the cluck of chickens is such a relief to consumers. But this poultryman has gone from raising 4,000 broilers to about 1,000 in 2 months.
Actually, we are at 750 to 800 chicks. Chicken feed is also expensive, so we have a deficit. The scarcity started as a result of bird flu in Europe, so frontiers are closed and the chicks lacking.
Some traders of day-old chicks say the price for chicks has increased from 550 CFA francs to 800.
There's a ministerial decision that forbids the importation of chicks, and our local production is inferior to demand.
Poultry farmers fear the scarcity is unavoidable until the birds are treated of avian influenza and are pleading on governments to come to their aid, especially as some workers have been laid off.
Still talking about this scarcity, November 2020 avian flu in Europe has caused a scarcity of table birds in Cameroon markets, and this has also resulted to price hikes. We're hearing these findings by Ewane, a poly that government banned the importation of day-old chicks in order to avoid an outbreak of flu in Cameroon. So let's follow this report.
The demand for chicken throughout the national territory remained the same, though supply is not enough, with the direct impact being a rise in the prices of table birds. Markets continue to be flooded by consumers who, in most cases, cannot afford the rising prices. Experts say the problem is as a result of the bird flu in Europe.
La grippe aviaire a été déclarée dans la plupart des pays européens.
In November last year, there was avian flu in Europe, where Cameroon imports one-day chicks. According to the World Animal Health Organization, when a country has avian flu, the country cannot export its products for 6 months. Due to this, the Minister of Livestock banned the importation from those countries. According to officials of the Ministry of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, poultry farmers have been rearing reserve stock of chicks.
In the first time, it's correlated to the pandemic of COVID. Day by day, we carry out this risk analysis.
Government is, however, working with poultry farmers in order to import chicks from Asian countries so that during the end-of-year festivity period, the scarcity of table birds will not be felt in the markets.
Some schools in the Kadei and Mesamena, that is in the East region, have received brand new buildings and school items to boost the teaching and learning process in the region. The humanitarian gesture in its 8th edition is championed by Hope for East, a non-governmental organization working to develop the educational sector in the region. Emanuela Venue tells us more.
With brand new classrooms and school items to upgrade the teaching and learning process in schools in the Kadei, the local population of the East region have every right to celebrate.
We are very happy to receive this new building for our school, because we teach our students in the bad condition.
Though far off in the hinterlands, Hope for East Cameroon, an NGO has for the 8th time given them hope to a better education.
This is the most important thing we can give to future generation, to those kids. Talking about education is talking about a better future, a bright future. So they really have to take care about this building.
From Baturi, the donors also went hand in hand deep into the forest of Mesamena, where they have constructed a housing facility for teachers in Malolo and finally a school at Jahu.
To school, they can be successful and doing the same for the future generation when they will be at our age. So we are just happy to see them being happy, and we feel useful for our country.
A gesture which seeks to assist the government of Cameroon in the development of the hinterlands.
Another social agency has seen the light of day in Boya. A Tombi Foundation with focus on child education and in healthcare was officially launched in Boya by the Minister of Social Affairs, Pauline Irene. The minister, who is on a working visit in the region, also called on the foundation to accompany government social policy both within and out of the Southwest region. Larry Efande reports from Boya.
A plus to social entrepreneurship, another agency to accompany government policy. The Tombi Foundation launches its activities officially here in Boya with a note of hope.
They will have our support, and it goes in line with the policy of social exclusion. We have to fight against social exclusion. So it gives the opportunity for other associations to do like them, to implement the fight against social exclusion.
Flanked by regional and national authorities, the promoter of the outfit is bothered by two things: education and health.
It is our duty as youths to work with the head of state. The Tombi Foundation will continue to help orphans, internally displaced, and needy kids who really want to go to school but cannot afford to pay their tuition.
The Tombi Foundation has existed for less than a year and has got lots to write home about already.
They helped me pay my fees and my GC registration, so I'm just so grateful. I'm just overwhelmed. I just give God glory.
Prior to this giving back to the community initiative launch, Minister Pauline Irene had a courtesy stop at the governor's office. Together with Governor Bernard Okalia Bilai, they discussed the issue about the 26 children recently rescued from the hands of traffickers in the Southwest region.
Let's stay in the Southwest region, where chiefs have expressed the wish for the state to regulate and recognize customary land rights to enable local communities better exploit lands. They were speaking in Boya during the Southwest Chiefs Conference, which was characterized by presentations harping on the need for decentralized institutions to work together with local authorities to manage lands. Let's get details from Tanjong Levis Agbo.
A lack of land tenure security hinders investment and constitutes an ongoing threat to social harmony. Therefore, an opportunity for the chiefs to reiterate the need to regulate and recognize customary land rights to enable local communities use land productively.
The owners of the land, who are traditional rulers, have not been given their right place when it comes to decision making on land issue. We are saying that the traditional rulers should be given their place, their rightful place.
With presentations from the Southwest Regional Delegate of State Property and that of Forestry, the chiefs called on decentralized institutions and traditional authorities to work together for the efficient management of rural lands.
The state has put up laws and other instruments to appropriate for itself the powers to own the land. Today, the chief, who time immemorial was the person, the custodian of all the community traditions and assets, has been relegated.
Strategies have been initiated which are hoped to put in place an inclusive governance of community lands for the benefit of all.
The National Observatory on Climate Change has confirmed the start of the rainy season in the country and has encouraged farmers to begin planting crops. This declaration was made Thursday in Yaoundé by the Deputy General Manager of the Observatory, Patrick Bomba Fogap, while answering questions from CRTV. Details with Brenda Miche, CRTV Center.
The storm swept across the town of Obolova at about midday with strong winds and rain causing major damage on buildings along the Carrefour Post Street. Several roofs were blown off across distances, some falling on vehicles and damaging windscreens, while power lines were also brought down, temporarily perturbing electricity supply in the town and its environs. Those greatly affected include a popular drinking spot, one of the oldest in the town of Obolova, a motel and a 3-story building which is host to several public offices such as the Divisional Delegations of Sports and Physical Education, Housing and the regional branch of the Cameroon Publishing Corporation, SOPECAM. The storm blew the roof away at about 1:30 p.m. The office is now in open air with most of our important documents soaked in water. The windscreen of a brand new double-cabin Toyota pickup of the corporation has also been shattered. Earlier this week, such storms with similar devastating effect were also reported in Koiti, a village situated some 15 kilometers north of the town of Obolova.
And the rains are back. That was rather the story coming in from the south region on the storm that swept off roofs in that part of the country. Now, the National Gendarmerie Road Safety Task Force has been on duty at the Yaoundé-Balmayo-Ebolova and Yaoundé-Balmayo-Sangmelima axis to track down recalcitrant drivers and sensitize road users on the highway code and on COVID-19 barrier measures. On the challenges of this outing, here is Kilianda Ndifon.
Bikok on the Yaoundé-Bolova-Yaoundé-Balmayo highways, speed limit is 60 km per hour, but the driver of this vehicle on 88 km per hour, like others, is humbled by the radar pictures.
The most recurrent offense we have recorded here is disrespect of speed limits, and the offenders say they are rushing to catch up with burial ceremonies.
This road axis is full of influence peddling, but the National Gendarmerie is professional.
We apply the law and send a report to a hierarchy.
The task force is also steadfast on ensuring the respect of COVID-19 barrier measures.
We are obliged to tell passengers who are without face masks to alight from the vehicle and get a mask before they get back on board.
Sensitization is still part of the mission, but delinquent users pay for their obstinacy.
The population of the far north region has been enjoined to ensure the respect of government's response strategy against the coronavirus pandemic. This was the keynote message by Governor Mijiyawa Bakarim as he taught some municipalities to revitalize the campaign against the pandemic. Let's get details from you, Sylvester Temking.
While launching the mobilization of all against the pandemic at the esplanade of the Marwa One Council, Governor Mijiyawa Bakari donated anti-COVID kits, called on the population to strictly implement government's measures to combat the virus.
This contact tour is to pass the message that COVID-19 is a reality because people are dying, and measures taken by the Prime Minister have been to be implemented.
The same message was echoed at the Marwa 2 and 3 municipalities, where the chief executive of the FAI North region enjoined religious leaders to lead by example in places of worship as Christians prepared for Easter Sunday, while Muslims brace up for the start of the Ramadan.
A fasting period, that's Ramadan, and we just want population to implement the measure by.
As the revitalized anti-COVID awareness spread across the region, inhabitants have been cautioned to discard fake news carried by the social media about the virus and to stick to directives provided by competent authorities.
And some coronavirus-prone areas in the Bamenda 1 Council area have been disinfected, including the Northwest Governor's Office, the market, and other public premises. The two-day disinfection exercise organized by the council was aimed at stamping out COVID-19 in the municipality. Julius Neba with details.
Dressed in protective gear and well equipped to spray off any lingering trace of the COVID-19 virus, the deputy mayor of the Bamenda 1 Council and her close collaborators moved from shop to shop, disinfecting the Bamenda 1 market. Then it was the turn of the Northwest Governor's Office, the SDO's office, and later the premises of CRTV Northwest. Highlighting that health is wealth, Anatu Achap Abrahams stressed that she prefers leading by example.
My work is not only to sit and then use a pen to sign. So I want to show an example to our members that they should go out to the field and work, not only send the workers.
Applauding the act, the Bamenda 1 market master said the exercise serves as a reminder of the threat posed by the coronavirus.
Today, some still don't believe that there is COVID-19, so they have done it so that the doubting Thomases should see and believe today that the COVID-19 is real.
The anti-COVID-19 exercise is coming at a time when statistics from the Bamenda Regional Hospital show that the number of infected persons since the outbreak of the virus in the Northwest is now more than 3,000, with over 124 deaths.
In this case, West region commuters as well as drivers at the Mile 17 Motor Park in Boya have been reminded to continually respect all barrier measures against COVID-19 pandemic. During the exercise, the president of the bus station distributed face masks to passengers and to drivers. Tanjong Lewis again.
From one car agency to another to business spots at the Mile 17 Motor Park, the president of the bus station distributed face masks with words of caution.
When the governor came here, he gave us firm instructions that after his visit, we should continue the exercise. Most of the population, they don't have this face mask, so we decided as a giveaway that they should have their face mask.
Roughly 2,000 commuters use this bus terminal, Mile 17, a park with over 200 buses. Yes, some commuters and drivers are still reluctant to respect these measures. The president of the bus station say he will not relent on his efforts.
Our bus station is a transit point where we have so many persons who are coming in and out of Boya. So we are sending a very strong message that the disease is in the distance. We are appealing that we should put on a face mask, we should learn to continue to washing of our hands, we should avoid this issue of embracing one another, at least for the moment.
Washing hand points and other preventive measures have been stepped up at the park, all this to ensure the virus is at arm's length.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
Very well, now let's get into the second canto and talk about our fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Health professionals in the country are encouraging Cameroonians, especially those tested positive, to go to specialized centers for treatment and not to stay at home and get treatment. The encouragement comes as the number of persons tested positive and are staying at home to receive treatment keep increasing. Let's now meet Baldwin Sama and his guest, Dr. Frank Amabo, with updates. Hi, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Benen Bumagana. You must have noticed ever since we had the outbreak of this pandemic in Cameroon, many persons who tested positive for the virus prefer to stay home and rely on home care than going to the different treatment centers and have themselves treated for COVID-19. How effective is home care? Talking about the coronavirus, let's discuss that tonight with Dr. Frank Amabo. He is our guest. Good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening, Baldwin.
Explain to us how effective is home care for COVID-19 as compared to the normal treatments reserved in the different treatment centers.
Thank you, Baldwin, for raising this very important point. First, I'd like to say that, like most countries in the world, Cameroon, at the onset of when COVID-19 started, we knew very little about the disease. We didn't know much about how the disease spreads and what were the transmission dynamics. Ongoing research has now shown that over 80% of cases would either be persons with very mild symptoms or no symptoms at all, whereas 20% can be severe. And these persons with mild symptoms can be managed at home. In Cameroon, we have adopted that and integrated in a strategy that persons can be isolated and managed at home, given that they follow the protocol to manage their symptoms, isolate and report any symptoms of worsening should they occur so that they can be sent to the nearest health facility for further management. So yes, home-based management is plausible, it's done, and is recommended for persons with mild or no symptoms.
Thank you so much for those explanations. Those who are supposed to rely on home care, there are those with these mild symptoms, but if you have been screened positive for COVID-19, make sure you get yourself to one of these treatment centers and have yourself treated for COVID-19. Back to you, Benen Bumagana.
Thank you very much, Baldwin Samafan Cayman. Let's go over to the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. The new parish pastor of PCC Bastos, Reverend Jongai Polycarp Versha, has been inducted into his ecclesiastical function as pastor of the parish with a call to preach the word of God and encourage Christians to be steadfast. During the induction service, PCC's moderator, the Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba, led the church to pray for peace and to pray against the coronavirus pandemic. Details with you, Romeo Kenya.
This is the new shepherd of the PC Bastos congregation, instituted and inducted into pastoral functions by the moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, the Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba. Reverend Jongai Pascal Vesha is challenged to be dynamic, spread the gospel of hope, faith and love to parishioners. A biblical inspiration gotten from Lamentations 3.
Call on him to be very, very attentive and dynamic in issues of state and in issues of the church.
The 53-year-old prelate was appointed last May 2020 as Presbyterian Secretary for East Mungo North Presbytery. He had served in diverse PC parishes in northwest Cameroon.
We are bound to take care of these displaced persons who are in the length and breadth of our presbytery.
We intend to continue to finish the Presbyterian Comprehensive High School in Fu. We intend to open a secondary school in Betua.
During the service, Christians prayed for peace in Cameroon and an end for COVID-19 propagation in the country.
And in the West region, the fallen mayor of Bangante in the D division, Dr. Jonas Kwamo, has been buried. The head of state, President Paul Biya, was represented at the burial by the governor of the West region, Awa Fonkar Augustin. More on that story with Yungu Henry.
In strict respect of COVID-19 barrier measures, members of government, officials of the CPDM party, the National Order of Pharmacists, and a cross-section of the population of the Ndé converged on the Bagante ceremonial ground to pay tribute to the fallen mayor, Dr. Jonas Kwamo. Orators during the sad event, like his predecessor at the Bagante Council, Minister Celestine Kecha Koutes, described the late mayor as a leader who contributed enormously to the socio-economic development of the Ndé. The representative of the National Order of Pharmacists, the Université de Montagne, where he was Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, and the family members described the late Dr. Jonas Kwamo as a devoted teacher, a God-fearing and a caring father. The late Jonas Kwamo, who died at the age of 69, was posthumously decorated by the representative of the head of state, Governor Awa Fonko Augustine, as Grand Officer of the National Order of Valor. It was attended, among others, by the representative of the President of the Senate, Senator Micheline Samu, Ministers Emmanuel Ganunjumesi, George Elanga Obam, and the Chief Scribe of the CPDM, Jean Kweti.
Still in the West region, a special mass has been said in memory of Fotso Victor in the Christ the King Parish, Mbuo. The mass was an initiative of Honorable Albert Quinche, who enjoined all the children of Fotso Victor to be peace lovers as their father was. Kelvin Nembo completes that story from Bafusam.
At the Our Lady of Victory St. Therese Chapel in Pete Banjun, constructed by late Fotso Victor, a mass is organized in remembrance of the man described by his children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren as a peacemaker, unifier, and veritable Christian. The officiating priest of the mass, organized by Lon Jitap and Michelle Fongang on behalf of their brothers and sisters, prayed for the repose of the soul of the nation builder and invited his children to emulate his example. An occasion for them to pray for peace to reign in the Fotso Victor's family. The successor, Damien Pascal Ngape Fotso, invited his brothers and sisters to be veritable promoters of peace wherever they go, as the patriarch did.
And in sports, Young Sports Academy of Bamenda have recorded their second consecutive defeat in this League One season. They suffered a 2-1 loss to Canon of Yaoundé in a Day 3 outing at the Yaoundé Omnisport Stadium. Canon, on the other side, have 6 points after 3 days of play in the top-tier league. Details with Romeo Kenye.
A game completely dominated by Canon Sportif of Yaoundé. The first 5 minutes, Jules and Nanomber get the opener for Pakums, unleashing a clinical shot into Yosa's back net. The two teams continue multiplying goal-scoring opportunities, but a few minutes to recess time, Yosa gets an equalizer via striker Emmanuel Agbo when Canon's keeper James Juayang mishandles an airborne save. At resumption, the Pakums pie pressure and benefit from a free kick, from where Simon Mukete converts the set piece into a second goal. An unchangeable score margin until the final whistle is blown. It is Canon's second victory in 3 confrontations this season.
We wanted to win this match, so the guys were very concentrated. They were confident to win this match, so I think that makes the difference.
Young Sport Academy backs home its second consecutive defeat.
Canon, they have a good team. They had their chances. They took them. They concretized them. Today, I don't think we played a bad game, but we were not at our best.
Both teams are now looking forward with optimism, embarking on Day 4 hostilities.
Thank you very much, Romeo Kenya. And it's that sports report that we come to the end of this edition of the 7:30 News. Lucas Mebenga will be coming back at 8:30 for the news. Thanks very much to Annabelle Tabi for the proofreading.
You once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.